Welcome back to Unsorted, the LEGO podcast about bricks, life, and all the shite in between. Now remember, this podcast, this live stream, is not safe for work and not suitable for children. There will be bad language and crude jokes. If this is not for you, then navigate away. In other words, if you don't like it, then fuck off. Ah, yes, I've missed saying that. Well, today, people, we're going to war. So before the battle commences, allow me to introduce my two bloodthirsty combatants. First up, you might know him as the savior of the universe, or maybe just a madman with a box. But to me, he'll always be good old Cunty McCuntface. It's the Brickkeeper, aka Sam Jones!
Oh, my word, that's got to be your best one yet. Oh, that's brilliant.
What's that? Under 2 minutes and I've already dropped the C-bomb twice.
Oh, I love it. I love it. It's typical. It's a typical entrance for us British folk as well, where we go, you know, Doty McBoatface, Cunty McCuntface. You know, it all fits, doesn't it?
Yeah, I basically did this online poll of what we should name you, and the Democracy said Cunty McCuntface, and unlike Boaty McBoatfaced, I listened to Democracy.
This is it, and I'm proud that you listen to Democracy. You know, makes me go. You know, I feel like I fought for something once upon a time.
Well, I'm glad that you're so happy about this on this war-themed episode. But anyway, we have another guest, and last and by almost certainly every possible means least, he puts the riot in patriot, the pathetic in sympathetic, and the sexy in dyslexic. It's Joe of Skyline Bricks!
What's up? Cunty McCuntface.
Oh,
Mom, Crackle was saying some bad words. What's up, guys?
Oh.
How are we all doing?
The what in dyslexic?
The sexy and dyslexic.
Oh man, I'm doing good. How are you doing, Crackle?
I'm all right. I as I mentioned briefly in the green room before we got started, I am running on like less than 4 hours sleep over the last 3 days.
Oh
so,
boy, this ought to be great.
Yeah, this could go one of two ways. I might just fall asleep midstream, or it might just turn into absolute mania. I'm hoping mania. That'd be more entertaining, I think.
Sam, are you fully slept and sober? Can you be the one that just goes, wave off, go around, try the landing again?
I'm good. I'm fully prepared for this, but yeah.
Okay.
Are we saying that Sam has to be the sensible one, the peacemaker?
and in no point has anybody ever suggested that idea.
Okay, so the reason why I went with war as a last-minute theme for this episode is because a little while back, a LEGO Ideas project got approved, and it is the LEGO Ideas minifigure prize machine. So it's basically like one of those giant gumball machines that you get a prize out of in a capsule. And it's brick built out of Lego. That's going to be coming an upcoming set. And as part of that, LEGO Ideas have said they're going to have at least 2 new minifigures in there. One is going to be a classic space minifigure, and you get to vote on which brand new color the space minifigure is going to be. And also, there's going to be a castle faction minifigure, which people get to vote on. So I guess castle, war, different factions. That's kind of where I was going with that. So I'm undecided on the space one. I think any space one would be pretty good. They got bright bluish green, bright yellowish green, reddish violet, or warm gold. Oh, and dark azure as well are the options. What struck me is that with the castle faction, they are basically offering us the chance to have 2, or at least one of 2, brand new factions or an existing faction. So you got the Bulls on there and the Crows, which we already know are existing castle factions. I can't think of a different word than faction. What's the other word? I don't know.
Country.
Groups.
Group.
Country.
Sure.
I don't know.
Teams.
Tribe, whatever. Yeah. Armies, whatever. But they also have introduced the possibility of getting either the Krakens with this funky squid shield, or the griffins, which are, it's fine, but I feel like the Kraken's is way cooler.
Yeah, Kraken definitely sounds cooler to me.
Yeah.
I really like the idea of like a water-based castle faction. I feel like
water-based.
it reminds me of
A water-based
what
tart. Lobbing scimitars. Is that what you were going to say?
I was thinking more along the lines of Game of Thrones and
okay.
The Greyjoys.
Yeah.
What's it called? I can't remember what they call themselves now, but yeah, I know. I just think it's a cool new thing. Like in castle stuff, we get griffins. I don't often get bulls, but we get like crows, and
I might be
lions, and dragons and stuff. I like the idea of a kraken for a castle theme.
Yeah, it lends itself open to if they did that as a theme. They could be a water-based castle. They could be.
Yeah, and a little while ago, I did a video when I found out about there was
cool.
I think it was called Seatron. It was basically like a water version of like the space when they were doing Blacktron, Mtron, and
no way
there were sets designed and stuff, but it didn't actually get made. No sets were produced, and a fan had found these pictures, which I think are quite readily available on the internet, of the original concepts, and did a fan sort of mock of it for Lego Ideas, and it didn't get picked up, sadly. So, but I always thought that was a cool idea, having like a sea-based version of space, kind of like Sequest DSV for any 90s kids out there remembers that show.
God.
Basically Star Trek underwater.
Star Trek underwater.
If you could do Star Trek underwater, why can't you do castle water thing?
Sure. I mean, having a coastal-based castle, that would be fun.
Yeah.
I think I kind of like the crow-looking one for some reason.
Yeah, that's already an existing faction, though.
Oh, it is? Okay. Well, that's how much I know about the Lego castle theme.
Yeah, I actually forgot about Bowls, to be honest with you. I don't know. Bowls doesn't feel very medieval to me,
Huh.
Fins, dragons, and lions, I guess Lionheart, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I just like the idea of the Kraken. And then from that, then my sleep-deprived brain was like, oh, maybe I could do an episode of Lego about war, where when they first come on, more than usual, and then we can play the war-based board game Battleship. Battle Boats, and that will be fun. And hey, I can do a Lego quiz, and that can make the turns, decided on the right answers to the quiz. But I haven't got time to do a quiz. We'll just do it turn-based anyway. And wouldn't that be exciting? Oh wait, no one can see it. I tried.
No, man, it's okay. It's okay.
We appreciate it.
Yeah.
We appreciate you.
And
thank you, Country Face.
I always look forward to the very creative, very UK insults I get called when we get together.
I thought I was quite complimentary, Riot and Patriot, sexy and dyslexic.
Yeah. What did my buddy AJ in chat says? Laughter and manslaughter. Yes, AJ. Yes.
He also says you can have any Lego minifig as long as it's Benny.
Hell yeah! As long as it's Benny. Yeah, I used to work with AJ at undisclosed military contractor, and my symbol on Microsoft Teams and whatever was actually Benny's face. So I didn't choose it; another employee did.
Well, you say that, but isn't your Skylabs thing Benny in an actual NASA spacesuit?
Yeah, it's Benny's face in
Benny I didn't choose Benny.
Ellen.
Benny chose me.
Benny is me. Benny is in us all.
That's a different kind of the film than I saw.
You know what? Thinking about what I just said, I don't like it. I don't like it.
I mean,
anymore.
You did say previously that you like to put a specific Lego piece in all of your builds. I didn't realize that you also like to put a specific Lego figure in yourself.
I
Whoops.
knew you were adventurous, Joe. But...
Joe, I got another one for you. Put the wreck in Rectrum.
Wrecked them, damn near killed them.
I can see a couple of people in the chat. Space Timer said Dark Azure and Kraken are the correct answers. And Mrs. Crackle also says definitely the Kraken and one of the blues for the Spaceman. Yeah. I'm undecided on the Spaceman, but definitely I think the Kraken will be the best choice.
I don't
Honestly,
know.
though, with this set, that is like the most exciting thing for me is these two new minifigs.
Yeah.
I mean, I kind of defended the other week when you said about Lego making these random inanimate objects, like how exciting can they be? I defended them because I like the Polaroid and I like stuff like that. But yeah, this I just kind of feel like, ugh, I don't know. Like it's cool, but I don't really want to buy it. I just want those figs.
You just want the minifigs, okay? Yeah.
And the one drawback of them doing a new faction is, are they going to make the shields, the unique pieces readily available so that you can army build? Because otherwise, he's going to be massively outgunned.
Yeah,
Let's face it.
Well, I mean, if you ask me, the only color of Spaceman should be white because it's reflective, and the radiation environment of space is such that you want highly reflective things, and white is the least. You know what? Never mind. You guys don't care about spacesuits in real life, do you?
But didn't they use like gold panels to reflect?
They use gold. They use mylar a lot to reflect.
Well, there you go. You can have the warm gold minifig.
Yeah. That looks more brown to me. I don't know.
It's not great, is it? The picture, I had to be
Warm
told
gold,
that was warm
okay.
gold.
Weird.
I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Of course you're all interested in the minifigs. So I do have this question though, is Lego avoids modern military stuff.
Uh-huh.
And I get it. Sure. But also I'm trying to put together my old TIE fighter again, and we're talking about medieval castles, which were, the vessels of torture and oppression and destruction. Like, it seems just a little weird that they go for all these other types of war with blasters or spears, but modern warfare not so much.
Yeah.
There was something about that when the Lego Colosseum came out.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Oh yeah, well that's how I got banned from the Lego. I got banned from the official Lego YouTube channel. I can't comment or like go into the live chat of the streams now. Yeah,
because you brought that up.
Well, I brought up that the Colosseum historically was a place of torture, murder, for entertainment, racial, religious, and I guess also class discrimination. If you were poor, you were just as likely to get, and the fact that they had like a gladiator getting ready, talking about the glory of Rome will last for all time. I was like, isn't this the equivalent to having like an SS soldier like put on his Nazi uniform and talk about the Third Reich lasting 1,000 years?
Oh no, oh no. No, but I mean,
yeah, they did Nazis technically in the Indiana Jones sets. They also did Soviet soldiers when they did Kingdom of the Crystal Skull.
Okay,
but they didn't call them that. Oh no, it's yet another live stream where we've said the
N word,
the Nazi word,
the Nazi.
Am I gonna have to start putting beeps in?
We're gonna have to start having like a sign on the wall. How many days since last Nazi
since we
reference?
last mentioned 1940s era German fascists and people
Other
from northern
Idaho.
What?
Other fascists are available.
Yeah, and I said, or people from northern Idaho, but there are plenty of great people from northern Idaho. They're not all neo-Nazis.
But you're right. Like, apparently, the reason why the original Lego castle set was in yellow bricks is because they didn't want people using gray bricks to make tanks and stuff. But as you said, like, castles, whilst they're beautiful historic buildings, they were also tools of torture, warfare, and even as a symbolic sign, they were used basically as a symbol of control and oppression over the people in the surrounding areas. Particularly, Wales has more castles, I think, per square mile than any country on the planet. And
that is a fact I looked up,
they,
and that's true.
they definitely were used to oppress us. But it's fine. I mean, one of the things I did point out and in that stream as well, when they announced the Colosseum, where I got blocked by Lego, is I said that their unwillingness, because their official stance was they would not make a Notre Dame set because it was a place of religious worship. I was like, but you'll make a UCS set based on a place of religious persecution.
Yeah.
But now they have done a Notre Dame set, so I guess
guess they went back on
off.
it.
Yeah.
Well, and AJ makes a good point here in chat. He says, irony is...
Are we going to get political now? Let's stay away from politics.
No.
We're just the broad strokes of...
I meant to read this other message. It says they don't want current day problems in media. Yeah, I get that. Yeah. That makes sense. And I don't know. It's one of those interesting things because like I'm in the space build community, and Lego has given us lots of tasty treats like the SLS or the Saturn V, the lunar lander. Those are really cool things, and we have taken those and we've run with them into crazy, different things and all kinds of rockets. But with the military thing, they have taken like the military Lego field is actually really fascinating to me to see them reproduce something like a C-17 Globemaster, a cargo plane, or a B-2 stealth bomber. Like the creativity in that region of Lego never ceases to amaze me, that they're taking lots of things that there's literally nothing in the Lego catalog for them to start off of, and they're creating tanks and planes and very accurate historical ships and just all this crazy stuff. So it's one of those instances where I'm like, I totally understand why Lego doesn't want to do that. But then this constraint, this design constraint, has caused all these designers to make just insanely cool things.
Plus, let's be honest, there's not a single one of Lego's core values that they're rock solid concrete on, is there? They bend the rules when they want to. I mean, one of the recent examples about modern military aircrafts, I mean, I say recent, it was 4 years ago now, was the Lego Technic V-22 Osprey, which the Bell Boeing Osprey, which they were releasing, and the set even made it to shelves. People actually got it in some cases before it was cancelled. They tried to dress that up as it was like a rescue version of the vehicle, which doesn't exist in real life. It is purely just it's a military vehicle, and they cancelled that. But it is weird, like how they, like you said, they won't do anything that we count as modern. I use modern in inverted commas,
right?
Military wise, but they have done castle. They have different factions going to war with each other. They have those kind of old-fashioned weapons. And I've heard the argument saying that the further distance from an event or from a topic, the more acceptable it becomes.
Right.
I kind of get that to some extent, but then there's also a level of you kind of are in a way romanticizing some dark shit.
I mean,
where is the how do you quantify how much time has passed for it to be acceptable? Do you know what I mean? Like pirates and stuff they do, although they have they in recent years they haven't really done an official pirates theme, but they have pirate stuff in other sets and themes and stuff.
Well, Craggle, let's pause for a second and take note of my little Lego Death Star 2. The original one was used to kill an entire planet of people.
I mean, that was fiction, I guess.
I know, but
I guess maybe the difference is with fiction. I mean, but yeah, like
I mean, it's the same subject of like, and like. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I mean,
I
I
keep
heard
getting
it's when they say
distracted
that
by
they don't do any military or war related stuff, and they literally have a theme called Star Wars.
wars.
Yeah.
Well, when the exception comes tied to literal billions of dollars, you second guess things, don't you?
Yeah. I mean,
See also AJ's comment here. See also Titanic bounce house.
Valid point.
Valid point, yeah.
That was a massive, massive loss of life. And what was that?
1912.
1912. It's over 100 years ago now. Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go. That's obviously the acceptable range for Legos. What's
Well,
what's
you
World
say
War
that,
II going
okay,
to over 100
so
years?
we're going
One.
100 years, okay, and then they do stuff with pirates, I guess. Okay, so yeah, that's
Okay.
late earlier. Okay, castle, that's earlier, but then they have done. They didn't want to call them that, but they did. German 1940s era fascist minifigures. They even did Russian 1950s fascist soldiers as well for the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull minifigs.
That's true. And
One I've just
my
looked
buddy
up,
what?
One I've just looked up, they did the they did a set in 2002 for the Red Baron,
Okay.
which is technically a warplane.
And that was
Yeah.
less than 100 years. It was technically a
Yeah.
warplane. Yeah. Okay.
So you're there going, hang on, where's double standards here?
Eh. Well, and also my buddy Neely here, who is he's a history teacher. He says, just make everything I want a Lego. The Nuremberg trial Legos.
Oh my god.
Tom hangs out. Saddam's happy hangout set.
Oh my word.
Okay.
Oh,
Well, and,
we might be going into territory where we actually get cancelled here.
I know, right?
We like to tickle the clit of being cancelled every episode, but here
And we
we may
do
be
it
going into
so
full-on
well.
penetration of cancellation.
We're not penetrating. We are just tickling.
we are balls deep right now.
Yeah. Well,
I don't know. I mean, I'm not saying they necessarily should make modern military stuff. It's
Yeah.
just interesting to observe. Okay, where do you quantify the disconnect? Where do you draw the
Yeah.
line of what is acceptable? Like,
yeah.
in a recent episode of Doctor Who, I won't go too much into it, but they mentioned about Wales and about the castles being these houses for torture and bathed in blood in Wales.
Uh-huh.
And yeah, the castles, they got some dark history, some fascinating history, but dark
Yeah.
history. But is it okay because so many years have passed? Do we then sort of say that the lives lost, are no longer worth the same level of respect of events that are more recent? It's
Yeah.
I guess it
I
comes
see
down
what
to
you're
that old phrase of too soon.
Too soon? Yeah. And I mean, I get it, and like, yeah, when I understand why they don't want to make a B-52 bomber set, because my grandpa was just blown up by a B-52. It would be a cool set, but
Well, the thing is, though, is that I get the point. I can see one in the chat has also mentioned about if you're making US military, you're alienating fans across the world and stuff. But there are toy companies who do make
yeah,
I say
Yeah.
modern. I remember having like I think what's it called Matchbox
Yeah.
planes of the Spitfire, Battle of Britain and stuff like that. And I think as a kid, kids for years have played with little green toy soldier men, and they're not based on castle. They're based on some sort of rudimentary,
yeah,
you
for
know,
sure.
20th century soldier, type of thing. I mean, they're in Toy Story, and technically Lego actually did make the Green Soldier minifigures for one
That's true.
set, which you'll never see ever again, probably. So, why can other toy companies make
Maybe
more recent military stuff, but not Lego?
maybe we're asking the wrong question. Maybe the question is, do they need to? And the answer is no. They make tons of money off of other things. So avoid something controversial altogether. And the few examples we can come up with where they kind of like skirted the lines of those standards those are the exceptions. And when you're Lego and you can go, hey, we're releasing a Tuxedo Cat Lego set, which again, I kind of want that, but also like, if you own a cat, they're just little murder machines. They go kill things all the time. But like, no, what I'm saying is they can release something like a a Tuxedo Cat or a Polaroid camera and make tons of money off of it. They don't need to dip into the well of, well, here's an M1 Abrams tank, They don't need to. So why would they?
That's it.
Yeah.
And there's tons of creators out there as well in the community
Yeah.
who are doing that sort of thing. And there's loads of Facebook groups for it as well. I know I'm a member of one of them just because I want to sit there and look at a nice big shiny F-14 made out of Lego. I mean, who doesn't want to see that? And then there's this guy on one of them who's recreated a helicopter I used to work on when I was in the Royal Air Force. And I'm just like, that is incredible.
Yeah, I mean, there is literally whole custom brands dedicated to military stuff. One of my friends who I haven't spoken to in a while, Shy from Shy Time Is My Time, he's like the expert on modern military. I've just realised that you've noticed the banner going across the bottom.
What in the fuck is this?
It's still going. When did you have the time to write that?
I've only read half of it. What the fuck does it say? I'm not fucking desperate.
He's pretty desperate, but DTF down to fuck, and that's all. That really matters, right?
Is there not a character limit on this? Jesus.
Okay, Sam, you were.
I need to read this from the start.
Can we stop and let Sam read it out loud from the start, or shall I read it out loud?
God.
So the message says, these live streams are unfiltered and uncensored. There will be bad language and crude jokes. If this is not for you, then navigate away. If it is for you, then please like and subscribe. And we'll love you forever. Especially Sam. Oh, I got it off.
It ended.
Oh, he's reset it. Oh,
let's reset it. Why has it done that? I don't know.
Dead space. And
we'll
we'll
love you
forever.
You can edit this, Sam.
Yeah, especially Sam.
And we'll love you forever, especially Sam. He's single at the moment. Kinda. He says he's seen a girl, but none of us really believe him. It's sad, really. But let's just humour him. For now. He has low self-esteem as he has low self-esteem as it is. And the last thing any of us would want to do is embarrass him by telling everyone about his non-existent love life in a message going across a public live stream.
Oh no, what's happening?
Wait. Fuck it. What's done is done. Like and subscribe, and maybe we'll give you Sam's WhatsApp.
WhatsApp, okay.
That's what all the kids use these days, right?
It just keeps
WhatsApp
going.
And Tinder. I think he's on there too. He's pretty desperate, but he's DTF. That means down to fuck. And that's all that really matters, right?
Oh,
it's not like you're going to listen to his opinions. You just want a piece of his sizable Lego collection. Yeah. Yeah, you
Huge
do.
tracts
You
of
purpose.
land. Oh my god. Okay.
I have so many things to say, but I don't think I have enough time.
Oh boy.
Oh
Well, that was a
man.
big derail. Anyway, so Lego is
I was saying about like custom brands who do modern military stuff.
yes, custom brands who do modern military stuff.
Yeah, we were talking about creators in the community who do various bits as well. And there are people who've made fully functioning C-17s with back
Sorry,
doors
Sam,
that
you're
are
a
open.
little bit quiet there.
Yeah, man.
Sorry, mate. There are people who've made fully functioning C-17s and everything, and with back doors that ramps that open, you put other things inside it.
Back doors.
Wide open, baby.
I mean, there's someone who has created a C5 Galaxy. We all know that opens from both the front and the back.
Yeah,
Goes both
yeah.
ways.
Exactly.
Kissing with both sets of lips.
Kissing with both sets of lips.
Yep. Or the one that really impresses me, or the ones that really impress me, are the people who make military ships.
Oh yeah, battleships.
Someone made the USS Iwo Jima with like it's huge, it's massive, it's like 50 feet long, and they've got helicopters all
That's
along.
what she said.
Yeah. Or one of the first really large mocks I ever saw was it was just this giant beach landing of a World War II battle, like, in the Pacific. And so there were landing ships and just this whole huge World War II battle going on. Excuse me. Yeah. So I don't know.
I mean, that's another angle from this, is that people not necessarily want to, enact historical war battles with their Legos. Some people might do, but some people might just, like a particular vehicle. Like, I know, Sam, you've been to, I can't remember what museum it was, but had, lots of vehicles and tanks and stuff from World War II and stuff. I remember you tell me about it. And, and I, like I said, I had little models or little, metal toys of different planes throughout World War II and stuff. And, they were just cool to look at. So there is an angle here that other toy companies fulfill. And it's interesting that Lego says no, and that's fine. But then they're like, hey, we're going to do all these warring factions of castle, medieval torture. That was, in some ways, arguably more barbaric,
But honestly, those things that they do make, like the castles, it's kind of like, it's kidified. It's not like...
Yeah.
They're not showing a torture rack. They're not showing the means of, it's more like this fantasy sort of like what we think castles are according to,
Yeah, it's the like the romanticized version. And that's the same, with the Wild West and the pirates era.
Yeah.
It's this whole romanticized version, of heroes and villains and damsels in distress, or heroines and monsters and stuff like that. As opposed to the reality. But it's interesting that like we were saying about the time passing, is like, what point in history or at what point in time do you think it will get to where what we consider modern warfare kind of gets romanticized to that? In some ways, I guess it arguably already has with, Indiana Jones, perhaps. I know some people say that kind of romanticizes the battle against the German 1940s fascists, But...
Yeah. And I hate to keep pointing out things in the chat, but where is it? The difference between grave robbing and anthropology is about 300 years. And that makes sense.
Well, you think with the Wild West, it was really not that long. You think
it
Wild
wasn't
West
that long ago.
Was it the 30s they started making westerns and stuff?
Yeah.
30s,
No, it
40s?
was... and that's a huge thing here in the U.S. is just romanticizing the Wild West, and it really wasn't all that romantic, and it really wasn't all that
I'm a
great.
massive Western fan, but I fully know that the actual historical reality was a far cry from the Westerns that I love.
Oh yeah,
It's the same with pirates. Like, today everyone loves a pirate. They're funny. They're rebels. They're like, they're like scoundrels. And they don't listen to rules. In actual fact, they were rapists, murderers, and thieves. So
Yeah.
like,
Yep.
not people that you want to idolize.
Which is why I never liked the Pirates
I mean,
of the Caribbean movies.
They did a what was it called, a stagecoach robber minifigure a while back. I can't remember what the actual official name was, but everyone said it was kind of based on the classic iconography of Dick Turpin. And Dick Turpin is kind of like this folklore character. I wouldn't say hero, because even in modern folklore, he's kind of still a bad guy, but he's a romanticized bad guy that people tell like the feats that he did. In actual fact, a lot of the stuff that he's praised with doing, he didn't do, and he also was a rapist and a murderer, and not a very nice person. But Lego made a minifigure very very obviously inspired by the iconic image of him, the classic traditional Dick Turpin costume. So
right, and it might be a matter of
the Highwayman. That's it. Yeah, that's what it's called.
Yeah. FaceTime. Yeah, and it might be it just might be a matter of scale. Like, sure, we made one minifigure of a guy who wasn't a good guy. Like, we're not going to make a bunch of Nazis because of the scale of their crimes.
They did.
Yeah.
They did.
Well, yes, but they did. They made them as, let's be honest, victims of Indiana Jones.
Yeah, they were like nondescript bad guy soldiers. They didn't have any sort of Nazi emblems or anything like that.
Right. But I mean, like I said, Lego tends towards fun and like, let's just build, let's be creative. Star Wars, yes, it's war.
Are you saying that war can't be fun?
If you find war fun, I have problems. Hey, Craggle, one of us actually went to war, and it wasn't me, and it wasn't you.
Mate, in all fairness, he's not been married. We have.
That's fair. That's fair.
Oh, okay, all right.
Well, come on. I mean,
until you have a 7-year-old
anyone comes
boy?
at me, when I'm saying war be fun, I am of course being sarcastic.
Yeah.
But it's interesting. I remember back as a teenager, I was really into the Medal of Honor games, which were at the time they were as big as COD is today, if not bigger. And I remember one review saying, like, as a war veteran, he said, war is absolutely hell. He said, but I can still disconnect and enjoy playing Medal of Honor and just think, oh my god, this is an amazing video game. It's so much fun. Even though I've served in an actual battlefield, and I would never want to go there again. So. I guess people can compartmentalize and differentiate between the two as well. Yeah.
Well, and also, hey, we the four of us. I can't count today. Apparently, yeah.
The four of us. Look, I know I put a little bit of weight on, but come on.
Well,
if anyone was going to start with a personal insult, I thought it'd be Cunty McCuntface.
I just need a counter now. How many times are you going to call me that before the end of the night?
It's said with love and affection, my dear.
Yeah.
I know.
Well, I mean, okay, so we all grew up boys. Like, it's just inevitable. No matter what we're playing with, it ends up with like Lego could do all they want to prevent us from playing battle with whatever we have, but like, we inevitably do it, and
I feel like that is an element of play. I feel like tendon kids won't play battles, good versus evil is a mistake. That is a natural part. It's knowing the difference between reality and play. Do you know what I mean? Like, as we mentioned about the West, one of my favorite games of all time is Red Dead Redemption, which is a Western
game.
I do stuff in that game that I would never do in real life. For one, I absolutely hate hunting for sport. I cannot stand it.
Oh, sure.
But there's achievements in the game where you go hunt animals and sell the pelts and stuff. I take
kill those.
Yeah, I take
digital
great pleasure in
animals.
doing it. Killing the digital pixel sprites of Buffalo to extinction in a video game, but I would absolutely hate the idea of it in reality.
So do you go out hunting for cougars there, Craggle? You gonna go look for some cougars? Does cougar mean the same thing to you guys as it does here in the US?
It does, but I don't think it's
Okay.
used as often. I think there's
Okay.
more
All
preference for.
You got
the-
some sexy older women looking for you? Yeah, being hunted by some cougars.
What I did warn you, this stream might go off the rails a little bit.
Dude, it started off the rails. We didn't get onto the rails, my boy.
There were rails.
I'm just glad I'm not the one who's going to be editing this. But
Oh,
Sam, man,
boy.
as we mentioned, or we kind of like flirted with mentioning, you're the only person out of us that's actually served in the military. Do you have any kind of thoughts about Lego making stuff like that? Would it offend you, or would you be okay with it, or
I think it's all depends what vehicles you make or stuff like that. Because you can go. The one thing I want to create out of Lego, and I know a guy on one of the communities has done it, is the Seeking helicopter. Now,
Ooh.
for those of you who don't know, in the UK, the Seeking helicopter was primarily used by the Air Force and the Navy as a search and rescue helicopter.
cool?
Okay? It does have connotations where it is also used as a radar helicopter and things like that.
Anti-submarine?
Anti-submarine stuff,
Okay.
yeah. But that's it. But from my aspect, I want a nice big yellow helicopter because I served with that nice big yellow helicopter when I was in the Air Force, and it's just, for me, just a nice memento.
Yeah.
But and that's something I would, kind of.
And again, I don't want to speak for my friend Shaitam. I'm sorry I haven't spoken to him in such a long time, but I know that he has got some custom minifigures of U.S. Marines. Obviously, he served in the U.S. Marines, so that is important to him to have that. So I don't know. I don't know what we're saying here. I think we're asking more questions we don't necessarily have the answers to. But it is an interesting debate, I guess, about whether Lego should be making more modern military stuff.
Yeah, and
or whether they could.
I'm kind of okay that they stay away from it, and the people who really want it, they've made a really robust community around it, and that's awesome.
Yeah.
Do I want Lego to make a Lego Skylab? Maybe not, because I like being the few of us,
guy.
few weird ones who we like Skylab, and we saw how you screwed up the lunar lander, and we don't want to see that happen to Skylab.
I actually liked the lunar lander until I met Sam and you, and then I was like, okay, it's not good.
Who gives them scuba diving helmets?
Oh yeah,
why
the
do they have
minifigures were
scuba diving
atrocious.
helmets? What was that?
The minifigures were atrocious in that
They
set.
were just look, man. I don't usually comment on minifigs, but they were terrible.
Do they belong in the blender?
Wanna put my tender heart in a blender, watch it spin. Sorry, Eve 6. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you see, it goes the same, like you were saying, Joe. There's so many things out there that Lego could create, especially from the space point of view as well. And things. But do we really want it? Probably not, because there are people like us who are mad enough out there to create it ourselves, do the instructions for it, and share it with the community. I mean,
it's kind of like basically why I'm of two minds about Lego making more Doctor Who stuff. On the one hand, I love it, but on the other hand, it's like, no, I'm making that stuff now. This is my thing.
Yeah.
Please keep your grubby mitts off of it.
Yeah, don't put me out of business.
Yeah. It's just like I mean, with the new SLS set, I was in the back of my mind going, one of these days I am going to make an SLS launch tower like I made for the Saturn V. And then they came out with it. I'm like, oh, good. Thank God that's not on my shoulders anymore.
It's back on your shoulders, Joe.
Why? Is it not that good? No. Okay. I keep.
It's funny though, because we mentioned.
I keep hearing that.
Keep hearing that.
Okay.
We mentioned before, about the whole Star Wars thing and that being, space and being fiction and stuff, and that being okay. But as we've also talked about before, Star Wars, the Empire is very obviously I don't know the word
Nazi
inspired, but
organi-
based on the Nazis. And the Star Destroyer does look a lot like a battleship, really,
because it is. No, that's I always find that so funny when people start talking about like, oh yeah, I know they're the bad guys, but I love the aesthetic of the Empire. This Empire is so cool. I'm like, oh, okay, you need to take a trip to northern Idaho because that's how a lot of those people got into it. Is they love the aesthetic and they love having a strong leader at the top.
I mean, I've heard the argument before.
Star
but,
Destroyers are for one thing, to be intimidating and for us to blow them up and cheer.
I mean, one thing you can't fault was the Nazi engineering, though. I mean, that's why we use the term jerry can today, because the British famously would always steal the German petrol cans because they were engineered. It was so well how you could hold two with one hand, how you could store them and they would stack and stuff like that, as opposed to the British ones were flimsy and kept breaking and fell over all the time.
Hey man, you're talking to an engineer. There's a lot to be said about over engineering things and under engineering things.
Yeah.
There's a reason
Yeah, but
why
you're an electrical engineer, so that doesn't count.
it still counts.
You're an electrical engineer who doesn't know how to use PowerPoint.
Yes.
For those who are listening to this podcast, Joe has given me the middle finger that is slightly I can't even finish now. No, the middle finger. He's giving me the middle finger. He's flipping me the bird.
Yeah. No, I was about to tell a story. I'm like, nope, that's under an NDA. I can't talk about that. Yeah. Yeah. I know we haven't come to a real conclusion, except I think
that's
fine.
fine.
I think it's fine the way it is. I'm okay.
I was going to say, I think it's fine that we haven't come to a conclusion.
Okay.
I think with this sort of thing, if you have a definitive answer, you've almost missed the point. I think it's more a question, a discussion to have, perhaps.
Yeah. And I think I do have a definitive answer in that. I think it's okay the way it
the American
is.
has a definitive answer. Only Siths deal in absolutes. But that itself isn't absolute.
No, a mostly definitive answer in that I think it's okay the way it is, mostly because I really like the do-it-yourself community that's popped up around it, and I think it's fine.
Well, here's one for you.
Okay.
Lego have made minifigures of the Royal Guards, the British Royal Guards, which technically are actively serving military.
They
soldiers.
are active serve, huh? Yeah, but at this,
but it's okay because they protect the Queen, innit?
In it, I just love in it. It's Tuesday, isn't it?
Innit? What comes after Tuesday? Wednesday, innit?
Wednesday, isn't it?
Oh, get myself a chicken Nando's, innit? I don't know what's happening.
I don't know either. And I love the fact that you guys have banned me from ever trying to do any sort of British accent.
Well, we banned you, but it didn't stop you then, did it?
Right.
When Joe does a British accent, he just sounds like he's doing Peppa Pig.
Daddy!
Do you know what? One episode, we should just get Joe to speak entirely in his British accent. See how many people put in the comments. Is this a new host?
Hello, governor!
Oh my god.
I changed my mind already. No.
That was a short-lived idea.
Hello, governor! That's all I know.
So to conclude this then, to try and wrap it up into some form of meaningful event, we decided to talk about Lego and war because I didn't have much sleep and I had to come up with an idea because Joe put all his hopes and dreams on one guest who at the last minute said they couldn't make it. And
Yeah.
I just saw that Lego was making a set that might introduce a new faction to Castle. We have discussed about Lego making modern military stuff, and basically we don't know if they should or shouldn't. Joe reckons they shouldn't. Sam reckons maybe they should with some vehicles. I'm undecided. What do you think? Let us know in the comments so that we can have some engagement on our channel, please.
Now, does anyone in the chat have any questions for us, or anything to that extent? I don't know.
or just to tell us how amazing we are, and you love tuning in every time we do this. I was going to say week, but that's not true.
Yeah.
This was a shoddy episode. I'm sorry, but I'm sure Sam will cut together at least a good 12 minutes of usable material.
Wow, this was a really short episode, guys.
What will happen is I'll cut this together, and it'll end up going on. It'll be our most listened to podcast, and our most listened.
We'll all get cancelled. It'll go viral, and they'll be like, "Who are these three cunty McCunn faces?"
There you go. Oh dear.
That never ceases to make me laugh. I love that one.
Oh, right then. Okay, let's wrap things up. Let's do the usual thing. I'll let Joe go first. Go on, Joe. Plug your pluggables.
Okay.
Come see them.
Yeah. Come see me on Instagram under Skylab Bricks. I'm working on some pretty cool stuff. Come see my wares and sundries that you can purchase from Skylab Bricks on Etsy, and very slowly rolling things out on Rebrickable. Also, if you're in the New Bedford area tonight, Time Kill is having our first gig, and yeah, that should be really fun. I'm one of the youngest people in the band. Yeah. Thanks for watching and listening. Craggle.
Sam, you're on.
Well, yeah,
Come closer to the mic. We can barely hear you.
Yeah.
Hello, I'm the Brickkeeper, Sam Jones.
Sexy voice.
Thanks, Joe. Yeah, you can check out all my stuff on what's our website called? Etsy. Yeah, I'm on there. And I know he's not going to believe me, but stay tuned. Tomorrow there will be some things released on my Etsy store that may have been 3 or 4 years in the making. Who knows?
Is it a wrench of some type? An audible wrench?
It may be, Joe. You might be onto something here.
What?
I don't even like that stuff, and I'm excited.
Are you telling me that you're releasing the sonic screwdrivers tomorrow?
Don't jinx. Maybe.
Just
and hello, I am Craggle, Cut the Craggle, whatever you want to call me within reason. You can find me on my YouTube channel, Cut the Craggle, where I sometimes produce content, though not as regularly as I should to stay relevant. You can also find me on Instagram and most other social media like TikTok and Facebook, but Instagram is where I'm currently most active. And of course, I have my own website, cutthecraggle.com, where you can buy my custom designed little plastic people. And if you're not into plastic people, you just like the image of them, you can now buy stickers based on some of my custom plastic people designs. Yeah, I got away from me a little bit that sentence. But anyway, please buy my stuff so I can afford to eat pizza and get even fatter than I am right now.
Yep.
And on that depressing note, I want to thank my lovely cast, my co-hosts for joining me. Thank everyone in the chat for being here. Everyone listening to this after the fact. I hope we've not traumatized you too much. Mm-hmm. And we will see you
next time. We will be discussing the new Lego Hindenburg set. So next time, yeah.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.